duit dah berwarna.
Hi, I'm Frankie. Welcome back to my fuck show, Frankie Answers Questions. Today, we will talk about Farm Fresh IPO. Question 1. There are so many dairy companies. What makes Farm Fresh special? Yeah, there are many dairy companies, but in my opinion, there are 3 things that make them special. First, the group is vertically integrated. Second, they have a unique and extensive distribution system. And third, Malaysia policy to enhance food security. And that's what I'll be talking about in this video. Question 2. What do you mean by vertically integrated? Vertically integration basically means they own and control the whole supply chain. For Farm Fresh, they are in control of breeding cows all the way to distributing their products. Talking about farm to table, they are really farm to table on a massive scale. Do you know that Farm Fresh practices farm to shelf in 48 hours principle? This makes the milk truly fresh. Without the control of the supply chain, it is quite challenging to do this. In order to fully appreciate how good is Farm Fresh vertical integration, we need to talk about cows. You know this cow? This is called a Holstein cow, generally believed to be one of the highest yielding dairy breeds. It simply means it can squeeze out more milk than other breeds. But this cow cannot withstand Malaysia tropical weather. This cow can. I'm built different. So, if you want a cow that can produce a lot of milk and at the same time can withstand Malaysia weather, you do this and get this. The Australian Friesian Sahiwal breed. Since the quality of the cows have a huge influence on the quality of the production of milk, Farm Fresh goes to the extent of acquiring Pettaburn Dairy in 2017, which granted them access to top quality purebred Australian Holstein genetics. Today, Farm Fresh is one of the largest remaining gene banks of the original AFS cattle globally. That's impressive. So yes, that's how far they go in their vertical integration. They even grow their own grass because the highest quality milk begins with cows eating quality grass. You see, almost nothing is out of control. Well, except things like the mad cow disease or acts of God. My point is, when a company has this extent of control on its supply chain, this gives investors a high level of confidence in the management. Question 3. What's so unique about Farm Fresh distribution? Today, many consumer staple companies rely on distribution providers such as DKSH to ensure their products are able to reach as many retail stores as possible in the country. That way, they can focus their attention and resources solely on producing the best products for consumers. On the other hand, as a distribution provider, their objective is to deliver as many goods as possible through the least trips made in order to hit economies of scale and maximize profitability. This combination sounds great, but it has one problem. The product owners become dependent on its distribution partner that might just prioritize major urban areas for economic benefits. In the case of Farm Fresh, when its products are consumed by anybody and everybody, this distribution arrangement cannot maximize the full potential of its business. Because its milk may not be able to reach the areas that the distribution providers don't service. Therefore, this is the unique part about Farm Fresh distribution strategy. They came up with a smart solution to use multi-channel distribution networks to cover not just all states in Malaysia, but to ensure an even broader range of customers are able to enjoy Farm Fresh products. One particular method that the group uses is by selling its product to the stockists, who then on-sell these products to home dealers under the group's Home Dealers program. That's kind of like an MLM structure. Oh, in fact, these armies of stockists and home dealers sell Farm Fresh products using a common MLM strategy: the power of word of mouth. Question 4. I never see people sell milk like MLM also. You think what I say is bullshit, right? To date, Farm Fresh has 38 stockists spanning all the states in Malaysia, managing over 871 home dealers who in turn manage more than 1,006 agents of theirs selling Farm Fresh products. The stockists and home dealers network represents Farm Fresh's fastest growing distribution channel with a revenue CAGR of more than 100% in the past 3 years. The point I want to make is that this MLM-like kind of selling method creates brand stickiness among its customers. Just like how Amway members members worship its products like there's no other alternatives in the world. That's how Farm Fresh managed to establish its branding in the market. Question 5. Just now you mentioned Malaysia's policy to enhance food security. What is it about? Arguably, at the country level, food is abundant in Malaysia. Nevertheless, it is not a general rule that food-abundant country is also a food-secure country. For one thing, Malaysia has not yet reached the level of self-sufficiency for basic food. Today, Malaysia still heavily relies on imports for food produce. In the milk department, the Agriculture and Food Industry Ministry has committed to achieve milk self-sufficiency by 2025 through the National Dairy Industry Development Strategic Plan that was launched in July 2021. According to official statistics from the Veterinary Services Department, our milk consumption has increasingly outstripped domestic production in recent years. To put it into perspective, the deficit level for fresh milk has almost doubled from 13.3 million litres in 2014 to 26.1 million litres in 2020. It is for this reason that about 2/3 of the IPO proceeds to the company will be used to expand Farm Fresh production capacity by setting up a new dairy farm, an integrated processing facility, a new manufacturing hub, and also to expand the production facility in Australia. On top of that, the group will use 13% of the IPO proceeds to expand their business beyond Malaysia to other neighbouring countries. By the way, not 100% of the IPO proceeds belong to the company, you know? Question 6. What do you mean the IPO proceeds don't belong to the company? Based on the prospectus exposure, only 30% of Farm Fresh IPO offerings are new shares, whereas the remaining 70% are actually existing shares owned by the current shareholders of Farm Fresh, which consists of the original owners of Farm Fresh and Khazanah. What this means is that only 30% of the IPO proceeds can be used by Farm Fresh for expansion plans, while the remaining 70% is the selling of existing shares of Mr. Loy and Khazanah, which will go back into their personal bank accounts. While some may argue that this IPO exercise is an avenue for Khazanah to partially exit the business and at the same time still able to enjoy the upside from the share price performance, well, that's how investment funds make money, man. To be fair, it was with the backing of Khazanah that Farm Fresh managed to raise funds to establish Muazzam Shah Farm in Pahang, which became fully operational in 2014 with a focus on rearing dairy cows. After that, Farm Fresh acquired Petaburn Dairy in 2017, which granted them access to top-quality pure-breed Australian Holstein genetics. Without Khazanah, maybe Farm Fresh won't be able to grow the business as fast as it did today. Just saying, we should be grateful that Khazanah, together with Farm Fresh owners, had created one of the best dairy product giants that is owned by Malaysian, managed by Malaysian, for Malaysian. Question 7. I'm interested in the IPO. How do I increase my chance of success of getting some Farm Fresh shares? From a retail investor's perspective, good luck, because there aren't many shares allocated to retail shareholders. Only 7.5% of the total share offerings to be exact. If you are a Bumiputra investor approved by MITI, then you may have a slightly better chance than the normal retail investors because you are able to participate in the institutional investors portion of the IPO. Anyways, don't get too disappointed yet because just like a lucky draw game, you can increase your chance of getting some shares if you up the ante and subscribe for more shares. Having said that, it is highly advisable to invest within your means. As the saying goes, it is never too late to invest in the stock market. If you miss the chance to subscribe for the IPO, I'm sure there will be some days where the price comes down to a level that is attractive to you. That's when you can accumulate the desired amount of shares in your portfolio. Alternatively, since Farm Fresh will be one of the largest IPO for the year, the majority of the investment funds will inevitably subscribe to the IPO shares. So, if you like it so much, just invest in those investment funds lor. That's all we have for today. #FUN.